Okay, so let's start. Last time we were reading a statement of Ullah, and I want to go back to the statement for a moment just to bring out a few points that I did not bring out in the first case. Get me a Humash. You can get me a Humash, please. Yes, I want to read the pasuk in the Humash. Right. So we're going to be starting from. Thank you. Amar Ullah. Remez le'edim zomimim min haTorah menayin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 lines from the top. There's like a star next to the word Amar Ullah. Remez le'edim zomim. Well, I just realized I'm not being recorded. Remez le'edim zomimin min haTorah menayin. Right. So we were dealing with Ullah's statement, and let me read to you the pasuk again, because I want to show you how this worked. Okay, so let me give you a little context. Okay, so Moshe Rabbeinu received the Torah from Har Sinai, and he would teach the Torah to the Jewish people in Ohel Moed over the course of 40 years. He taught them the Torah. He taught them the Torah shebe'al peh, and then eventually at the end he also wrote the Torah shebichtav. The Torah shebichtav became the Humash, right? But there's many things that are not in the Humash, right? So the Torah shebe'al peh, it encompasses details that do not appear in the Torah shebichtav, right? The Torah shebe'al peh, the oral law, encompasses certain laws and rules that we don't have in the Torah shebichtav. So let me just read to you the pasuk. Well, let me get the pasuk so we're right. Right. Okay. All right. So Ullah is dealing with the following question. Remez le'edim zomemin min haTorah menayin. The question that he poses is, where do we have a remez in the Torah for the law of edim zomemim? So remez means a hint, an allusion. In other words, there is no clear law, there is no clear statement in the Torah for what Ullah wants to teach us. If there was a clear statement, we wouldn't need a remez, we wouldn't need an allusion. So, for example, I wouldn't say,
you mean a hint?
Right, a hint, right. If, for example, I wouldn't say remez le shemirat min le isur melacha b'shabbat menayin. How do I know that it's? Where do I have a hint in the Torah that it's forbidden to do work on Shabbat? Well, no, I wouldn't ask that question because the Torah explicitly says that mechalelei hamot yumat and it's haram to do work on Shabbat. We don't need a hint. We don't need an allusion. It's explicit. So what this means is that the law that we're dealing with is not one of the laws that appears explicitly in the Pesukim, but rather it's one of the laws that was part of the Kabbalah. It was part of the tradition, part of the Torah shebe'al peh. And Harambam explains that part of the wisdom of the Chachamim was that when they taught the Kabbalah, oftentimes they would try to show how there was, even though it's not explicit in the Torah, it's not in the Torah shebichtav, but oftentimes they would try to show how it's implied in certain Pesukim. So that's the idea of remez. The idea of remez means it's not explicit, but we can try to find an inference in the Torah to that law, right? So that's remez le'edim zomemin haTorah menayin, and of course, and you remember we said this last week. Remez le'edim zomemin v'hakativ asit melo ka'asher zamam. We don't need a remez for the law of edim zomemim. There's an explicit pasuk. So Ullah corrects himself. And he said, no, I wasn't asking for a remez for the law of edim zomemim. That is explicit. Ela remez le'edim zomemin shelokin min haTorah. That's what I want an allusion for. How do I know that remez le'edim zomemim shelokin min haTorah? Now, what does that question mean? Who can ask me and translate that question intelligently to me? Remez le'edim zomemin shelokin min haTorah. What does that mean?
Where do we see that we can do this transformation?
Right, I know, but and you were like, you're taking even further, and as I agree. But explain to me the simple meaning of that sentence. Remez, shalom aleichem. Remez le'edim zomemin shelokin min Torah.
A hint to liars, witnesses that lie, that
Right.
get
Malkut, they get Malkut, but and I want to refine that a little more. It doesn't mean that Edim Zomemim get Malkut all the time. The question is, where do I have an illusion that Edim Zomemim sometimes get Malkut? Because they don't always get Malkut. The Pasuk says, Va'asitim lo kashezamam lasot la'achim. That's a Pasuk in the Torah. So the question Ulai is asking is, how do I know that there are cases where Edim Zomemim get Malkut? That's important to understand the question of Ula in an accurate fashion. Sometimes they can get Malkut. Where do I have an illusion for that? And we read the Pasuk, and now I want to show you the wisdom of the Pasuk, because Rambam says that it was the wisdom of the Hakamim that they would be able to infer certain laws from the Pesukim, al pi haremes. And there's different levels of studying Torah. There's Peshat. Peshat is the conventional meaning of the pasuk. So, "Ukshartam leot al yadecha." So, ot, the conventional meaning of ot is the tefillin shel yad. That's a peshat. And then there was remez. Remez is a different level of studying, where sometimes the pesukim they point out to certain things. A lot of times, for example, for those of you who study the Moreh Nebuchim and the sodot of the Torah, many times the pesukim they allude to certain sodot, to certain of the secrets of the esoteric subjects. That's a lot of times done at remez. So that's remez. So I want to show you how the wisdom of the Hachamim in studying this pasuk. I'll show it to you in a minute. The pasuk they bring is v'histiku et hasaddik, v'hirshiu et harasha, v'haya im bin hakot harasha. Let me read to you the pasuk, and then we'll see the way the Gemara looks at the pasuk. The Gemara says like this. There is a witness. This guy is a witness who wants to do evil. He comes before the court, and his plan is he wants to say words that are false, that are not correct. He wants to say a false statement. So this witness enters the courtroom. It's actually two witnesses, because you need two witnesses, right? And what you have in the court is you have two people. These two people are fighting. Okay, so there's a dispute between two litigants. I'm dealing now with a case where a client was leasing a car, and he drove into the Ethiopian. There was a riot in Israel several months back, close to a year. Well, no, back in the summer, and he was that famous scene where the car drove into the riot, and then they jumped on the car and they smashed it and they destroyed it, and the guy was rescued by the soldiers. I don't know how they rescued him. It's really, they're really amazing. The Israeli soldiers, they're like amazing. So they somehow were able to sneak in, take the guy out, and they escaped, and the other guys were like busy jumping on the car, and he escaped. So now the leasing company says that he has to pay for the car, right? Then the guy says, "What do you mean?" I'm just like, no, I don't have to pay for the car. So that's a dispute. There's a dispute. No, so the insurance says no. The insurance, we don't have to pay for that situation. We only have to pay. If an alien came from Mars and he said 17 times, then the insurance will pay willingly, but otherwise it's just not in the contract. That's the position of the insurance company. The position of the leasing company is that the guy was negligent for driving into the thing, even though he was clearly in duress. You see, he's like running away for his life. He was like they were chasing him, and he's trying to drive. Anyway, this is a modern legal system. I'm pretty sure it's like that in America. It's certainly like that in Israel. The whole thing is one big. Okay. So make whatever opinion you want to have. Anyway, these are litigants. So these guys are having a dispute. So the litigants are in court. There's a dispute between litigants, right? One guy says, "You owe me money." The other says, "I don't owe you money." And what happened? So the judges, they sit down and they listen to both sides. And one of the edim, or the one set of edim, they lied. It ends up they're false witnesses. What does the pasuk say? Va'asitem lo, kasher zamam lasot lachiv. We do to the witnesses, they were liars. We do to the witnesses what they wanted to do to the victim of their false testimony. Right?
They wished upon him.
That right. What they're planning. Zama means they had an evil plan. So their evil plan was to cause him to pay money. So they wanted the guy driving in the car. They testified that we were there and we saw the guy was reckless. Right. So they had an evil plan to cause him to pay money. So we tell the witnesses, you wanted him to pay $100,000. That's another thing in the court cases. Suddenly the price of the car is incredibly high. That's another fun thing, and it's really not that high, but it's like they inflate it. So you wanted him to pay $100,000 for a little Fiat, and now you're going to have to pay the $100,000 because that's what you wanted him to do, right?
But that would be the punishment, right?
That would be the punishment.
The
punishment
is decided by the judges.
Correct. So
they cannot decide what this punishment.
Right. Well, no. I mean, in other words, had they accepted the testimony of the false witnesses, the defendant would have had to pay $100,000. So now we say, let the false witnesses pay that $100,000, right? That's a good question, right? That's what the Gemara will deal with that. That's a great question. Who does he pay to?
To the other side.
Right. Okay, but let's see. We didn't get there yet, but that's a very good question. Okay, that's a very good question. Okay, we'll see. We're gonna deal with that also. But you see, so the point is that the pasuk. Where do you see in this pasuk? The idea of malkut? Okay, so let's see. How do we see the idea of malkut in this pasuk? So it says, because the pasuk continues and it says, I'm sorry.
Now malkut is lashes, right?
Yeah. I'm sorry, Mechila. I think. Wait. Yeah, I'm sorry. First of all, what I just read is the source for edim zomemim. This is the actual law of edim zomemim. That's what I was reading. I was not reading the correct pasuk. So first of all, that's explicit. So remember, we said that the law of edim zomemim is explicit in the Torah. That's the explicit law of edim zomemim. So that's number one. Now I want to read for you the pesukim from where meaning those pesukim that we just read were peshat. The simple or conventional meaning of the pasuk, obviously, is talking about false witnesses that we say, you wanted him to pay 100, you pay 100. You wanted him to get punished in this way, you get punished in that way, right? Now I want to read to you the pasuk from where we learn, and this isn't peshat now, this is remez. It's insinuated in the pasuk. Remember we said that it was the wisdom of the Hachamim that they can read the pasukim and they saw these allusions. So now I'm going to read that pasuk, okay? Where do we see that an Ayat Zomem sometimes can get malkut? Here is this pasuk. And the pasuk says as follows. Ki yihiyeri ben anashim. Two people are fighting. They have a dispute. They come to court. V'nigeshu el mishpat ushfatum. The judges, they judge them. The pasuk says as follows. And there's something strange about the pasuk. V'hisdiku et hasadik. They tell the sadiq, you are absolutely correct. You're zakai. You win. You're the winner. And they tell the other side, you are hayav. You must pay. You lost the lawsuit. Okay. The pasuk continues and says, "Ve'haya im bin hakot harasha." If it ends up that the losing side, the one who's hayav, the one who's liable, if it ends up that he is liable for malkut, then he will get malkut. V'hipilo hashofet, the judge will take him, and he will get malkut, as he should get malkut. Al-ba'im yakenu lo yosif, the maximum number is not 40, but right under 40, meaning 39, and that's it. This pasuk is the pasuk that Ula brings as an allusion to the rule that edim zomemim sometimes get malkut. And how do we see that in this pasuk?
Sometimes get malkut.
Right, that sometimes an ayat zomem can get malkut. This pasuk has a remez, has an allusion to that rule, and that's what I wanted to bring to your attention. How does the remez work? I want you to see how the remez works. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam shehakol ya'amid baro.
So what's the peshat of the pasuk?
So the Peshat of the Pasuk is two people are fighting. They come before the judges. The judges say, you, sir, are Zakai. You're victorious. You won. You, sir, are Hayav. You lost. And then, in saying, well, you lost, the Hachamim, the Shofetim say, and the Haya, and it could be that he's subject to Malkut, and if he's subject to Malkut, we will give him Malkut.
So he's Dik with Sadiq. The victim, they found out that he's innocent, so he's Dik with Sadiq. And he eschewed the Memin with the Rasha, and that's where you get the...
Let me show you something really interesting here, and this is what the Gemara... Yeah.
Because it says, if he's subject to Malkut.
First of all, excellent, correct. If he's subject to Malkut, okay, so that's point number 2. I'll get to that point in a second. First, I want to show you, how do we even know this is talking about Adim Zomimim? Where is the Adim Zomimim? Where knows, before we even get to your point, which I agree with, but how do we know this is Adim Zomimim? Where is it insinuated? And I know it's not Peshat. The Peshat, it's not Adim Zomimim. The conventional meaning of the Pasuk is just telling us a law that there are going to be litigants coming to court, and sometimes one of the sides is going to get Malkut, and you give him Malkut, that's a Peshat. But somehow the law of Adim Zomim is insinuated here. And you know why? Because it's saying, V'histiku et ha-sadiq v'hirshu et ha-rasha. There was a person that we say, this guy is a Sadiq. And when we say this guy is a Sadiq, it follows that the other guy is a Rasha. Where on earth do you ever have a situation where you say one guy is a Sadiq and the other guy is a Rasha? Excuse me, two guys come to court. They can both be the lowest, scoundrels, cheats, just ruthless, cheating, whatever. I'm not going to say bleep bleep because it's not nice. But just they're both really bad people. And one guy won. Are we going to say that the guy won and there's another guy lost? We're going to say, the guy who won was a Sadiq and the guy who lost is a Rasha. Who the heck says a guy who won is a Sadiq? Maybe he's not a Sadiq. Maybe he's a ruthless lowlife. It happens to be that he won this case,
Maybe he got lucky.
Maybe he got lucky, or not even got lucky. Maybe he just won. Okay, so sometimes you have a ruthless low life. He kicks, a weak person out of his building, and he was right. And meaning the law was on his side. He managed to kick him out and just throw him into the street and make him a homeless person. And the law was on his side, and he did it. Could be that he was a ruthless guy, and he really won the case, but he's ruthless. Who says he's a Sadiq? What is the Pasuk saying? V'histiku et ha-sadiq. This guy is a Sadiq. He won. And the other guy is a Rasha. Maybe, right?
What about
V'histiku et ha-sadiq. V'hirshu et ha-rasha. The other guy's a maybe it's not a Rasha.
Yeah,
I lost the case.
He made a mistake.
Let's say a poor person owes a rich person money. The rich person has every right to collect that money. Okay, so he's collecting the money. Very good. Now, are we going to say that the poor person lost the case? He's a Rasha, you low life. No, it's Chazit. The guy can't pay the money. I don't know, whatever. He's, hard time. Is he a Rasha for doing that? No, he's not a Rasha. He's an unfortunate victim. Okay? So why are we saying that one guy is Sadiq and one guy is a Rasha? Where on earth do we see that? A situation that because one guy is Sadiq, the other guy becomes a Rasha. And there's only one case. Edim Zomimim. The only possibility ever in Jewish jurisprudence for one side to be a Sadiq and following from that one side is a Sadiq, that the other side is a Rasha, it's only one possibility. Edim Zomimim. What happened? Reuven comes into court. These two Edim come. They say, this guy is a murderer. Daniel, you're a murderer. Wow. So there's two Edim. Two Edim are saying he's a murderer. Let's say Reuven and Shimon are saying that Levi is a murderer, okay? You have Reuven and Shimon, they're coming in saying Levi is a murderer. Levi is a murderer. Suddenly, they're about to execute Levi. Come into court, Yisachar and Zevulun say to Reuven and Shimon, excuse me, when did you see Levi murdering? You say you saw him murdering? Yeah, it was Sunday afternoon. We saw him murdering. We were in Manhattan Beach. We saw him at 3 o'clock murdering whoever the murder victim is. Zebulun and Issachar say, yeah, we saw you in the Giants game in, MetLife Stadium? Is that what they play? We saw you in the Giants game at MetLife Stadium, and the Giants game didn't finish till 4 o'clock, right? It took them 4 long quarters to lose, and they finally lost, and it was very sad. So you could not have been in Manhattan Beach because you were with us. So now what do the Dayanim do? V'histiku et ha-sadiq. They say this guy is a Sadiq, meaning relative to the crime that he was accused of, he's a Sadiq. They're saying he's a Sadiq. You're accusing him of being a Rasha. No, he's not a Rasha. And now the other guys, because he's a Sadiq, it follows that the Edim are Reshaim. You see how the two things are connected? If he becomes a Sadiq, And then the other edim become reshaim. So now you see the beauty of the way the Chachamim, the Remes, and the Pasuk. It's fantastic. V'hisdiku et hasadik. And because v'hisdiku et hasadik, v'hirshiu et harasha. It's an amazing. I'll take your question in a moment. It's an amazing Remes. It's really, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Because what do you do with that?
Maybe they're talking about the new witnesses that they are the tzaddikim?
No, because we don't know what they are. They're witnesses. They're witnesses. We don't know anything about them. But v'hisdiku et hasadik, v'kiyeri bin Hashem v'hisdiku et hasadik, v'hirshiu et harasha, and then v'haya im bin hakot harasha. And what do we see from this pasuk? That this rasha, meaning the false witnesses, the edim zomemim, what does it say? V'haya im bin hakot harasha. It says, and if the false witness gets malkut, we should give a malkut. What do we learn from that? And you said it before, Elliot. V'haya im bin. He doesn't always get malkut. He may get malkut.
If in this case it's...
Right, because there are some cases of edim zomemin where they don't always get malkut, but they may get malkut. So you see the beauty of the remez and the pasuk. It's a perfect remez. Olah really hit the hit the hammer on the nail. Is that the way they say it in English?
The nail on the head.
Hit the nail on the head. Okay, thank you. I've been away for 2 decades. I'm glad I can still I'm glad I can still understand English. If I can't speak it, at least I can understand it. So hit the nail on the head. Yeah, hit the nail on the head. Okay, at least I'm not translating from Hebrew Israeli. I want. Yes. Okay, first you had a question.
Yeah. Why are we saying that we're talking about edim zomemim? There are other times where if they're machishim each other, then they're clearly liars as well.
Right.
Right? Or if they're pasule, there are other times.
Yeah.
Why? How do we know etzomim?
Right. You're saying in this pasuk,
Right.
the nemes, right? Because the only case where you would what do you call it? First of all, it's the remes, number one. But number two, the idea of the remes is that hirshiu et harasha is a derivative of histiku et hasadik, right? So there is a person here who comes out when we say, this guy, we thought he was guilty, and he's not. Where do we have a situation where a guy is accused of a crime? We thought he was guilty, and something that there was an actual declaration by the court and saying the man is innocent, and because he's innocent, these people are the evil ones. That's edim zomemim par excellence, because the idea of edim zomemim is we take the evil that was imputed to the innocent victim and we put it on them. That's the whole point. So it's like a reciprocal relationship between the edim zomemim and the falsely accused defendant. That's the idea of the remes. But it's not the peshat. It's not the peshat. Let them we'll say it. It's not the peshat, but also it's nice to understand the way the remes works, right?
But I'm
Right.
saying if
Malkut is lashing. It's a lash, to give somebody lashing, like they do in Saudi Arabia where they lash somebody, right? Lashing. So that's lashing. Yes. No. A strap of leather to whip. Yes, Leah.
I feel like it's a very nice remez, but I feel like it would make more sense to me if it would be Behirshiu et harasha, then Behistiku.
No, Behistiku.
First, these.
Right. So it's, right.
So then they're edim zomimin. Then he's.
No, because the crime that was imputed on him now transfers to them. So first we declare that he's a tzaddik, and now his evil is imputed to them. There's a shift. But the point is that v'hayayim bin hakot harasha, the idea is like when it says in Kriyat Shema, v'hayayim shemot tishmor mitzvotai. What does v'hayayim shemot tishmor mitzvotai mean? It's an alternative. You may choose to listen to the mitzvot, or you may choose not to listen to the mitzvot. There are situations where we listen to the mitzvot and Hashem blesses us, or bar minan the opposite, and there's not that happening. So the point of the derasha is v'haya im bin hakot harasha. Sometimes he gets malkut, not all the time.
So it depends on the crime?
Right,
If the
because
defendant had
right,
glasses
because
and
we
he
sold
had-
the top, and we're going to deal with that again soon. So there are certain types of crimes that we will tell them we're not going to give you what you wanted to do to the defendant, but something else, and we'll see that situation in a moment. Yes, Mikey, and then Albert.
You mentioned before, if they came running, so to speak, right before the guy was about to get executed. I don't know why in the back of my mind, I thought I remember once they issue the judgment, the Bedin, we don't go back on it, or is it after he passes on? That's what it was. After he
Right,
passes
exactly.
away.
After the
And
execution,
we can't go back and
Exactly.
Bedin's only because the
exactly,
Bedin is closed.
exactly. Last question, Albert.
If there's no execution, you could, if it's just a monetary thing, you could go back still? Or
I mean, right, because you can always undo that, right?
Okay.
Exactly.
Now, for a remez, do you have to have a Kabbalah for that, to do a remez, or is that?
Oh, right, no. So there is a Kabbalah that under some situations, Edim Zomimim get Malkut. Once you have that Kabbalah, Harambam says that it was the wisdom of the Chachamim that they would try to see where that Kabbalah is insinuated in the Pasuk. And that's what they did here. So the Kabbalah, the distinguish between the Kabbalah, which is 100% true and accepted part of the Torah, let's say, and the Remez, which is later on. Later on, the Chachamim tried to find the Pesukim which supported those particular rules. That's the idea of Remez, you understand? And that's where we try to connect the Pesukim with the rules that we already have. It's not that we derive the rule from the pasuk, but it's the other way around. Which came first, the chicken or the egg? In this case, we first had the Kabbalah, and then we try to show how the pasuk insinuates that Kabbalah that we had. That's the point.
And the second thing was, you mentioned before, I don't know if we ever got to it, how Reish Lakish had the Kabbalah and not Rabbi Yohanan.
Yes, so we're going to deal with that today, I believe. If we get to it, we will deal with it. Yeah, it's a very good question, and I like to deal with it today. Okay, so... All right, so just one last thing before we continue, and then I want to continue. We're going to go to the next section of the... I'm not going to repeat the thing about Lo Taneh B'Rachai Et Shakeh that we did last time. And I just want to correct something I said last time. We were talking about Aristotle, and we said how Aristotle distinguished between animal speech, which is vowels, and human speech, which has vowels and consonants. Remember we had that discussion? And then I said how the Sefer HaYesirah has that as well. It's not the Sefer HaYesirah, I just want to be correct what I said. It's the Perush of Rabbi Yehuda al-Barceloni on the Sefer HaYesirah. That's where I saw it. I just checked it up, and it wasn't Sefer HaYesirah. When I was reading the Sefer HaYesirah, and then it was the commentary, one of the main commentators, Rabbi Yehuda al-Barceloni, one of the great Chachamim from Sefarad, from back then in the glory days. So it was his commentary that brings that distinction, okay? So I just wanted to make that point. All right. Another thing. My father, in an article he wrote many decades ago, he uses the idea of montage, and I want to show you how it works here. So what's a montage? A photo montage is when you take two or more photos and you superimpose them upon each other to create something new. And one photo becomes like a commentary on the other photo, right? So that's photo montage, and I'm not going to pretend like, I could have impressed you and checked it up on the internet and speak about all these things and waste your time and my time, but I didn't do that because I don't know too much about photo montage, so I won't talk too much about it. But the Chachamim,
Which article?
oh, I don't remember the name of the article even. I just remember it from many decades ago on the list, and he told me when he used to teach me Gemara, he mentioned it. And then, so I'm going to mention to you what he mentioned to me. So many times the Chachamim, they bring different sugyot together, and you see how one sugya sheds light on, let's say the second sugya sheds light on the first sugya, and the first sugya sheds light on the second sugya. And I want to show you exactly how that works here because it's quite lovely. Okay, so let me do that now. Yeah. Right. All right. So first of all, the question is as follows. We remember we had the double machloket. We had Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, the student, and Bar Pedaya, the teacher. Right. The Rabbi Yoshua ben Levi, the student, said that there is no derasha for the fact that Ben Halusa doesn't get v'asitim lo, meaning an Eid Zomem that accuses somebody of being Ben Halusa doesn't get v'asitim lo kasher zamam lasot le'achiv, right? Right? That's what we learned. He doesn't get Vasit V'lo Kasher Zaman Lasod Le'achiv. We also learned the same thing in the Machloket between Rabbi Yochanan and Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, that if an Eid Zomem accuses somebody of being having committed negligent homicide, he doesn't get Vasit V'lo Kasher Zaman Lasod Le'achiv. So look at the montage. So we know what he doesn't get, but what does he get? What does he get? So he doesn't get Vasit V'lo Kasher Zaman Lasod Le'achiv. This answers the question you asked. A set of false witnesses comes and say, this guy was a Kohen, his mom was a Gerusha, it was a divorcee, and therefore the Kohen becomes a halal. So we learned, we don't do Vasitim lo kasher zaman lasod lachiv. We don't give the punishment that would have been on this defendant and put it to this edim zomim, because it would be a ridiculous punishment. I mean, what are we going to say, that he's a Kohen, that's a halal? I mean, so what? I mean, he's not a Kohen, right? So we said what he doesn't get. But did we ever say what he does get? Yeah, but how do we know that? Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi brought us a pasuk that says why he doesn't get Va'asitim lo kasher zaman lasod le'achiv. And similarly, Reish Lakish brought the idea of why, if a Eid Zomem accuses somebody of being a negligent murderer, normally we send a negligent murderer to a sanctuary city. So it comes, Reish Lakish says, why don't we send the Eid Zomem to a sanctuary city? We explain what he doesn't get. He doesn't go to a sanctuary city. How do you know that he gets Makkot? So you see how Ullah, it sheds light on that original discussion, okay? That's important. Now also, that discussion sheds light on Ullah. How does that discussion shed light on Ullah? Because in that discussion, what were the Talmidim saying against the teacher? The Talmidim were saying that it's Kabbalah, right? And because it's Kabbalah, we can understand why Ullah is asking the question, Echaremiza. Why is he asking Echaremiza? Who told him it's Kabbalah? He should be scamming. Efo ze katub b'Torah, Menah Nemileh, Menalan, Ma'ikera'a, where's the Pasuk? He doesn't ask where the Pasuk is. He says Echaremiza. Who told him it's a Kabbalah? So you see how that first sugya sheds light on this second sugya. So you really need to understand the two sugyot together, because each one sheds light on the other. Do you want me to repeat that, or do you get it? If you got it, I don't want to repeat it. You nodded yes, you got it, or yes, you want me to repeat it? Okay, yes, you all got it? Don't be embarrassed, okay? Okay. You want me to repeat it?
We're still Friday, boy.
Okay, no, I'll just repeat it one more time. So in the first sugya, we had the idea that edim zomemim, these false witnesses don't always get the punishment that they wanted to bring upon the defendant, right? Okay, namely, if the Eid Zomem, if the false witness tells the defendant, who happens to be a Kohen, you, sir, are the son of a divorcee. You are pasul for the kehuna. What are we going to make the Eid Zomem pasul for the kehuna? It's meaningless. I mean, it's not, it's not true, even if he was a Kohen. So we don't do that. What do we do then? And what's the source for that? Comes this sugya and gives us a source, right? So you see how this sugya, it completes that sugya. Now, on the other end, this sugya starts with a question, Echaremiza. The question, Echaremiza, already tells us there is no explicit source in the Torah. It's a Kabbalah. Who said? How do I know it's a Kabbalah? The answer is because the first sugya, Rabbi Yochanan, Reish Lakish, and Rabbi Yeshua ben Levi, they said, no, it's a Kabbalah. So you see how the two sugyot, they complement each other. That's the beauty of the way the Chachamim put the sugyot together. As I said, my father wrote a whole article about this. I don't even know where it is. And
So if it's Kabbalah, it has to be Remisa.
yes, right. No, let me put it in other words. If somebody is asking Hecharemiza, he's acknowledging that it's Kabbalah, that there is no source. Mm-hmm. If there was a source in the Torah, it wouldn't be Kabbalah. Then it would be a source. The Torah says.
It has to be only in the Remes form?
Exactly.
Only in the
MS form. Exactly. Kabbalah means that Moshe Rabbeinu never put that law down in the written Torah. For example, I don't know that tefillin have to be black and square, and so it's there is no place in the Torah where it says in leather and behemat tehora and all that. So we can have hecharamiza, but there is nothing in the Torah that says explicitly that, right? Okay.
So Kabbalah is strictly all the time Remisa.
Exactly. Or maybe sometimes there are Kabbalot where there's not even a remez in the Torah. There's also Kabbalot like that. Not every Kabbalah has a remez in the Torah. Rambam in the Hakdama Leperush HaMishnayot, he discusses there are halachot that are part of the Kabbalah, meaning the tradition that we have from Moshe Rabbeinu, and the Chachamim said there's no remez. Not even a remez. There's many laws like that. Yeah, there's many laws that are not even remez. Many of the Kabbalot, there's remez in the Torah, but there are Kabbalot that it's pure Torah, pure Torah. anytime you see the word halacha leMoshe miSinai,
Okay.
anytime you see the word halacha leMoshe miSinai, that means
No remez.
There's no remez.
there's no remez in the Torah. And we're gonna, I believe we're gonna actually bring, we have all sugya. That's gonna be shiurim chasisim. It's gonna be a sugya of certain laws that halacha leMoshe miSinai. So we'll actually bring some examples. Okay, so wait till that.
Taking my word for it.
Does the feeling fall into that category? But there is a
Many of the details of tefillin are not in museum. There are things about the tefillin, for example, yadecha yatkeha, explicitly, right? Ukshatam leot, the very law of tefillin. But then there's other laws of the tefillin that are not even remez. Not even remez, right? So we're going to see. And there's a list. Harambam brings a whole list of things that are halacha leMoshe miSinai. Okay?
Rabbi,
Yeah.
you can never ever have remez without Kabbalah.
No, I don't want to say that either. I don't want to say that as a rule. But, because we have like, okay, no, it doesn't matter. Okay, so, but here we have a Kabbalah, and you're going to see why, and we're going to see why in a moment. Okay, so let's continue.
Why,
Yeah.
why are you reading them as two different sugyot instead of one being a kind
Oh, so later on, when next week, Belinet, I'll give you the structure of the sugya. So we did the structure of the previous sugya. We already did that. And Amar Ulai is the new sugya, and every sugya has a structure, and it follows a certain, let's say, format. Let's call it a format. So the first sugya was sugya kefulam kupelet, and we showed that format. And now we started the second sugya, and next week, hopefully, we'll finish the second sugya, and then I'll show you the way the format of the second sugya works. And then once you have the format, you see how it's. But it doesn't have to be so. Meaning, it could have been within the sugya itself. There could have been different parts complementing each other. Absolutely. Okay, let's continue in the Gemara. I want to get to the Tanura Banan. You see the second wide line in the Gemara. Tanura Banan, Arba'a Devarim. Ne'emru be'edim zomemim. First of all, the word Tanura Banan. This is so important. What does it mean, Tanura Banan? So first of all, Tanura Banan means it's a baraita. Okay, so let me explain to you what a baraita means. So the Torah shebe'al peh, we see from Moshe Rabbeinu, it was unformulated. There was no set text. It's not like the Chumash. The Chumash, every single letter we received in the Torah shebichtav is exactly as Moshe Rabbeinu gave it to us, which is exactly as he received it from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's completely precise, not just to the level of the letters, but even to the level of the tagim, so that Rabbi Akiva would be doresh tilet tilot shel halachot, even on the tagim, even on the crowns of the letters. So that's Torah shebichtav. Torah shebe'al peh. There was no set text. Everybody taught the laws their way they saw fit. So until the Mishnah was written down, I'm saying until the Mishnah was set, every teacher had the latitude to teach the rules to their students as they wanted to teach the rules. There was no set text. Now, the students, they would write down what their teachers taught them, and they would put it in Beraitot, and they would have official lessons from their teachers. So Tana de Rabbi Ishmael means the Talmidim of Rabbi Ishmael had the following Beraitot. These are the lessons that Rabbi Ishmael taught. This is the language he used. I could be from a yeshiva of Rabbi Eliezer ben Yaakov, and I teach it in a different way, in a different language. I'm not polek on him. I just teach it in my own way. When I read the Torah, I have to read the Torah the way it appears in the Torah. I can't decide to use my own words. No. But if I'm teaching a halacha that I got from Moshe Rabbeinu, as I wish, what happens?
But they can be contradicting?
They can appear to be contradicting, or they can actually be contradicting. Yes. Don't forget, just because you use different language, scratch that. Because you use different language, oftentimes there would appear to be a contradiction between the Beraitot when in fact none was intended. That was why Rabbeinu HaKadosh came and said, you know what? Let me take the Torah shebe'al peh and formulate it in a set text. What is that text called? The Mishnayot. So he edited the Mishnayot. But when we study the Gemara, which is an elaboration of the Mishnah, we oftentimes bring Beraitot that weren't included in the Mishnah because they oftentimes shed light on the Mishnah, right? Now, in this case, this Beraita that we're about to read, Okay, now how do we choose a baraita? Not all baraitot are valid. Some baraitot were we say, take your baraita out of the bet midrash. It's not valid. This is a mistake. This is, you misunderstood it, or you're misquoting it. Take it out. What's the opposite of that? When you want to say that a beraita is not just authoritative, but it is recognized as authoritative by all of the yeshivot. How do you start that beraita? Tanur Rabbanan. Tanur Rabbanan literally means all of the Hachamim would recite this beraita, meaning this beraita that we're about to read is the highest level under the Mishnah. You have Mishnah, one step under the Mishnah is Tanur Rabbanan. Everybody recognizes the validity of this beraita. So when you're quoting a Tanur Rabbanan, it's a very powerful source. I'll get to you in a moment. And in this case, this Tanur Rabbanan is actually the source for the Mishnah. This is the source for where Rabbeinu HaKadosh got the laws of our Mishnah. We're going to read it in a moment. Quick question, and then I want to read the...
Is the Rabbanan necessarily a Tosefta, or could it be from other collections?
It's not necessarily a Tosefta. Correct. All right. So this is an authenticated beraita that was accepted by all the yeshivot. And let's read it now. So Tanur Rabbanan. There are 4 rules that were stated with respect to edim zomemim. That's an interesting word. Ne'emru. They were said with respect to edim zomemim. I'll get back to that word in a moment. Number 1. Here is rule number 1. En ne'esin ben gerusha uben halusa. Right. Actually, you know what? Before we even get to that rule, before I get to the content, let me just explain. I will explain the word ne'emru. What does the word ne'emru mean? What does the word ne'emru mean? Please, somebody tell me.
We're said.
We're said, correct. And why do I care? What's missing in this Tanur Rabbanan? What does that Tanur Rabbanan usually bring? It usually brings a law, and then after it brings the law, what does it bring? Usually, what does a Tanur Rabbanan bring? It brings a law, and then what does it bring after the law? Menahan Emileh. It brings the pasuk. This Tanur Rabbanan doesn't bring a pasuk. What does it say? There are 4 things ne'emru. What does ne'emru mean?
Someone said.
They were said in public. I mean, no, ne'emru means plural form, ne'emru. This is the source for the fact that it's a Kabbalah, ne'emru. What does ne'emru mean? What, somebody in the shuk said it? They said it on the CNN news? That means ne'emru, these were said by the Chachamim in the yeshiva, ne'emru. This is a Kabbalah that was recognized as such. There was no pasuk, because if there was a pasuk, they'll bring menahan emileh, menalan, maitama, maikra'ah, right.
Is that a kelah?
It's not just a kelah. I'm going to read to you Harambam. Well, I won't read it to you now. Harambam brings this beraita in Perek Kaf of Ilchot Edut Halacha Chet, I think. Check on the side. No, you have it in the En Mishpat this, right? Or wherever, okay. Just check on the side. And when he brings the halacha, is it? Yeah, okay. And when he brings the halacha, read it. Okay, I want to read the halacha. He actually summarizes this Tanur Rabbanan, brings the 4 laws, and tell me what he says at the end of the halacha. Read that word. Perek Kaf halacha chet, is that right?
Yeah.
You're in the Mechon Mamre, because the Mechon Mamre is a little different.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the thing, I'll find it.
Where ends the Arba'a Devarim Elu.
In the printed version, it's halacha chet. What is it?
Where ends the Arba'a Devarim.
Yes. There you go.
From the beginning or from the
Yeah, read the last sentence of that Arba Devarim.
Arba'a Devarim Elu mipiha Kabbalahem.
What does it say? How did Rambam know that mipiha Kabbalahem? Who told him? He's literally explaining to us. I love studying Mishneh Torah when I study Gemara, because it's literally Rambam is here explaining to us the meaning of this beraita. What does it mean, ne'emru? Why is there no pasuk? Because it's Kabbalah. If it's Kabbalah, there's no pasuk. The Arba'a Devarim mipiha Kabbalahem. Now you know how to study the beraita? That's all you need to know. Now let's go back to the original question that Albert asked me 2 weeks ago. He asked me, if the teachers didn't know that it's Kabbalah, how did the Talmidim know that it's Kabbalah? So for some reason, Rabbi Yochanan, who was the teacher, was not aware of this beraita. There were many beraitot he wasn't aware of. You know, you're in a world where there's no internet and there's no telephones, and anytime somebody came from Israel to Bavel, they'd be, what lessons do you have for us, right? And vice versa. Do you have any They didn't know the beraita. But here's the beraita. The Talmidim somehow came across this beraita. And once they came across this beraita, they said, this is Kabbalah. That's why they disagree with the teachers. The teachers were unaware of the Kabbalah, so the teachers are trying to make a derasha from the Pasuk. There's no derasha. It's Kabbalah. You understand? And it's a Tanura Banan, meaning you're Rabbi Yochanan, greatest Emorah. Bar Peda, greatest Emorah. But this is a Tanura Banan. And that's why the teachers, they followed the other students, Mehila. The students followed the Tanura Banan. It's a Kabbalah. And now everything comes together. So now you see why we have this Baraita where we have it. You see how everything, there's nothing left unfinished in the Gemara. The Gemara is like a perfect, beautiful work of art. And everything has a purpose. Question, and then we're going to read the content. Now we dealt with the form. Now we're dealing with the content.
Baraita, right? That's a Baraita.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's based on the Mishnah.
Well, the Mishnah is based on this Baraita, correct?
So now, this particular pasuk we just read, is it verbatim by all the rabbis? All the rabbis know it exactly.
Yeah, right.
Or
No,
is that
right.
idea, but it's written differently?
Right. No. So once we have it as a Tanura Banan, that's the way the text is set forth. They would study it Be'al Peh, and they would actually know it Be'al Peh, word for word. The same way we would study the Mishnayot Be'al Peh. And we knew them. Once Rabbeinu HaKadosh wrote the Mishnayot, I'm not going to say the halachot the way I want to say it. I'm going to say it the way he taught me. Right? Also the Beraitot. Once I have it as a Tanura Banan, I'm not playing around with this language. Arba'ah devarim ne'emru be'edim zomemim. Exactly as it's set forth. Right? Okay, that's a very good question, by the way. Okay. So now that we dealt with that, let's deal with actual content. Okay? And here goes the content. Number one. Rule number one. En ne'asin ben gerusha uben halusa. So this addresses the question you asked. If an ed zomem, false witnesses come and say this kohen is the child of a divorcee, we don't say to the false witnesses, you're going to become the child of a divorcee. That would be ludicrous. Okay. Ve'en golin le'aleh miklat. If the false witnesses come and say, this defendant is guilty of negligent homicide. He was drinking a beer, holding a pastrami sandwich in one hand, and the driving and listening to Led Zeppelin, and then he ran over somebody. Negligent homicide. We don't say that the edim zomemim now have to go to a sanctuary city, because that's not the way it works. The sanctuary city is kapara, and we're not going to give the edim zomemim kapara for a murder that they never committed, negligent murder they never committed. So that's number two. Number three, ve'en mishalmim. I'm sorry. Yeah, ve'en mishalmim et hakofer. What does it mean en mishalmim et hakofer? So if there's if somebody has an ox, and the ox gores someone and kills him. And it has to be a shor mu'ad. Shor mu'ad means he did it 3 times before. Okay? So he's mu'ad, shor mu'ad, gores someone and kills him. Right? So according to halakha, first of all, you kill the shor. You have to execute the shor. Kill it, right? But then you have to, the owner of the shor has to pay indemnification. Right? That indemnification is called chofer. Just so you understand, the pasuk says, "Ve'ram be'alav yumat." Let me read the Sakol yisakel ashor, ve'ram be'alav yumat. That's in Perashat Mishpatim. Right. Right. Right.
I'm sorry.
So here it is. Right, that's another pasuk. V'chigah shor et ish or et isha v'met. So this shor killed somebody. And again, we're talking about a shor mu'ad, meaning he was, right. Sakol yisakel ashor, the shor, we soklim et ashor.
You can't kill him with the shifting can't kill him.
No. V'lo yachel et besaro, furthermore, lo yachel et besaro, because maybe he'll give it to, right. Ubal ashor naki, but ve'im shor nagachu mitemel shom, if this is a shor mu'ad, if it's shor tam, we don't do anything to the owner. But if it's a shor mu'ad, v'u'ad b'ba'ala v'lo yishmerenu v'hemit ish o isha, shor yisakel, that's a pasuk I read before, v'ram be'alav yumat. I was right about the pasuk, a shor yisakel, we give sekelah to the shor, v'ram be'alav yumat, and we execute the owner, but we don't want to execute the owner. So what does it mean we execute the owner? So we execute the owner means he has to be executed by the bedin shel mala. That's what it means v'ram be'alav yumat. It doesn't say targu et be'alav, temitun et be'alav. V'ram be'alav yumat means he will be killed. Who's going to kill him? The answer is he's going to be killed b'dei shamayim.
Yeah, what about this?
Wait, hold on, Mechila. Let me just finish the pasuk. So he says, "V'ram be'alav yumat." So "v'ram be'alav yumat" mita b'dei shamayim. You understand how it's mita b'dei shamayim? It doesn't "v'ram be'alav v'ram be'alav yumat," meaning al yedei betin shamayim. Just 1 second. And then it says, "Im kofir ushrat alav v'natan b'yonat shlo." But instead of getting mita b'dei shamayim, he can pay money. He can pay kapara. He pays indemnity. The indemnity is instead of death penalty. Death penalty b'dei shamayim. So that's the kofar. Now, if edim zomemim come and they say this guy had a shor, and the shor was shor mu'ad, the shor killed 3 people beforehand, and then it killed the 4th person, and now they're saying,
It didn't kill people, it gored people without killing them.
what do you mean?
If it had killed people, the shore would already be.
Right? No, I know. Right? The question is a good question. Hanambam answered in Ilchot Niske Mamon in Perek Asiri, you'll see it there, but the summary what he says is that, for example, the shor could have been killed 3 goyim. So if you kill 3 goyim, you don't kill the shor after you kill. There's a few variations on how it can be that it's a shor mu'ad, right? Because you're asking, if the shor killed 1 time, you execute the shor. How can you kill 3 times and now a 4th time? So Haramam brings a few variations on that. Look at Perek Asiri of Ilchot Niske Mamon. Okay, but the bottom line is that the Edim Zomemim come and say, this defendant owns an ox, and that ox killed 3 people, and then it killed a 4th person, and now he has to pay money. He has to pay indemnity. He has to pay kofer, whatever the amount of money is. We'll discuss that later. So let's say $1,000. He has to pay $1,000, whatever it is. I'm just making up the number. So what are you going to say? You're going to say, and now it ends up that the Edim Zomemim were lying. So what are you going to say? Let the Edim Zomemim pay $1,000.
Right.
No.
Of course.
You don't do that. Why? The money is kofer. It's kapara. We're not giving the Edim Zomemim kapara. It's the wrong medicine from the wrong sickness. Not that the Edim Zomemim don't need kapara. They need kapara. But that medicine doesn't help them, right? That medicine doesn't help them. That medicine is for the person who owns a shor that he has to. You had a question? I'm sorry.
Yeah, but how Harambam knows that the shor knows if it was a Jewish or a goy? I mean,
Right, no, right. So we know, right, we know. There's the dayanim, they we're definitely at the end.
Might not be killing because he's got already that taste of blood of the human, and he might do it again.
Oh.
There was really no difference between a goy and a.
Oh no, because no, but the point is that if he kills 3 times, it becomes a shor mu'ad. That means that he's a shor
Right,
that's known to
said
kill
that.
people.
Okay.
So the point is he doesn't know the difference between a Jew and a goy. That's exactly the point.
So the first time around?
So if he killed 3 times, he killed 3 goyim, he automatically becomes a shor
And if
mu'ad.
there's one
And then
Jew-
once he kills a Jew, the 4th person he kills is a Jew. That becomes a shor mu'ad that killed a Jew, and a shor mu'ad that kills a Jew is sakoli sakel shor v'ram be'alav yumat. Right, that's how the law applies.
So if he kills a Jew the first time around, what
That's
do you
tam.
They kill him.
That's tam. You
Right.
Kill him or
Yeah,
don't
you kill the shor.
You kill him.
Sakol, ashor is sakel.
So why would it be different if he kills a goy or a Jew?
Right,
A shor would
because
not.
right, that's the law. Right, that's the law is that
That's
if
the
the
law.
shor kills a goy, that's like 1 notch, 1 notch against the shor. Strike 1, okay, you killed somebody, but you don't kill the shor. He kills another person. Strike 2, a goy.
Understand that.
Strike 3. Now you're shor mu'ad.
They say if a bulldog or one
Yeah.
of those kills
Rottweiler.
a child, we kill the dog immediately just because it's got a taste of the blood of the human. He might do
Right,
it
right.
again.
It's a little thing because the shor is not as vicious. It's more. These animals are more adim. The shor is not mu'ad la'arog adam. So that had to do with the Torah law. It's a different. And you're right,
What
right.
is the reason to kill him anyway?
Right.
We kill him so he doesn't do it again.
Well, exactly. Right. Or right.
What's the difference if the Jew?
Right. No. So because the shor is not a violent animal by its nature. That's why. Right. Whereas a Rottweiler is. Right. Okay. So and let's get to the 4th case.
I can ask a quick question.
Yes, sir.
So in the first 2 cases where someone tries to make someone tries to make someone a halal, I understand why we don't give them the same thing we
Yeah.
do with the
Yes.
shaytan. The next case, I understand
Yeah.
why we give, someone accidentally killed someone.
Right.
Because the retribution, it's not the same.
Yes.
So it makes sense. But if someone tries to impose a monetary thing on someone else, why can't we impose that? That's a classic case of
Right.
It makes sense.
First, so the question is a very good question. The question is a very good question, and the answer is it's the wrong medicine for the wrong sickness. Meaning, the kofer is there to get somebody is hayav mitabi deshamayim. The owner of the shor, if his shor would have killed the 4th time, is hayav mitabi deshamayim, and the remedy for that terrible gezerah. Nobody wants to be hayav mitabi deshamayim. It's I don't want to say it's worth in Mihai Mita Bide, Betin Shel Mata. Nowadays it's certainly worse because no Betin Shel Mata ain't going to touch you. But Betin Shel Mata, they don't care. So the point is, so the remedy for that is give money, and once you give the money, kapara. But that kofir is inapplicable to an edzomem. He didn't kill anybody b'shogeg. He did a crime. What's the kofir for him? I don't know what it is. But you see how it's inapplicable. It's a very good question, by the way. I like it. Let's just finish the fourth case. We're almost there.
Then I have a question after that.
And then I'll let you, okay. Okay. ואין נמכרים בעבד עברי, ואין נמכרים בעבד עברי. The עדים זוממים come, they say, this guy, he's a robber, and he couldn't pay up. What do you do to a robber who can't pay up? You sell him as an עבד עברי. They want to make him into a slave. So what do you say? Make the Ayat Zomem into a Aved Ivri. We don't do that. Why? Good question. Wait till next time. But it's a very good question. I know that what you're thinking. But the point is, we don't make him into an Aved Ivri. So these are the four cases where you have the Ayat Zomem, we caught them, we saw that they were liars. Normally we say, normally you take the evil that was imposed on the defendant and you put it on the Eidim Zomemim, and that's what I like about the pasuk. V'histiku et hasadik v'yirshu et harasha. First, histiku et hasadik. What do you do with that evil spirit? You put him, you put it there. It's like, that. I'm just using an analogy, of course. And now punish him because he has that evil spirit on him. Again, I'm just trying to use themes from horror movies or whatever. But the bottom line is, in these four cases, you don't do that, and I will explain next time what the reason is. Okay? We're getting into the sugya. I love it. It's beautiful. We're doing good progress. I'll take some questions and then we'll pray Arvit. Yes, and Elliot, I don't know if you want to pray Arvit with us, but if you do, you're joined. Welcome to join us. Okay.
Two questions.
Yes, sir.
One with the the punishment isn't the monetary. That's a separate issue. The punishment is mitat b'deshamayim.
The punishment is
So
mitat
that's what you
b'deshamayim.
can't trend. And the ed would be the member should be getting mitat b'deshamayim, not the monetary punishment, right?
Well,
That's the part you're having trouble
okay,
transferring.
nice point. But the bottom line is that we force the guy to pay the kofar. It's not optional.
Right, but he's paying the kofar to get out of
Right,
the
no,
real punishment
you're-
is mitat b'deshamayim.
Right. The important thing is im kofir yishat Allah. The Chachamim say, what does it mean? Im doesn't mean it's an option. We force him to pay. If we have to sell his property forcefully and take the money, he's going to pay the kofar. Meaning there is going to be no mitat b'dei shamayim. The mitat b'dei shamayim is the theory. In practice, it's kofar. So when we say va'asitim lo kasher zamam, it's not the theory. What did he want to do?
The final outcome, you don't stop.
Exactly.
First.
By the way, it's a very good question. I like the question a lot. I have to say, I like the question a lot. It's really good. But yeah, go ahead.
So the kofar that cannot pay becomes evidence.
Why can't we make him Eved Divrei? You're right. What, that question? So we'll see next week. That's a good question. We have the fourth one. You're bringing out the Sidurim. Rabbi Hananya. Yeah.
How come
Last
here
question.
we have all four, but in the Mishnah we only mention the first two?
Right. Oh, that's a good question. Okay. All right. So let's carry on in the Gemara. That's a very good question. But you see how this Beraita is the source for the laws in the Mishnah, right? Any other questions before we start Arvi?
Okay, I'll let you go.
רבי חנניה בן הקשיא אומר, נסע הקדוש ברוך הוא לזכות את ישראל לפי